Hammerfest. Gonna do a little rewatch. Anybody who doesn't know, I'm Jonathan Crane. I'm a middling Cat 2 cyclist out of Birmingham, Alabama. This is my hometown race. So I'm gonna do a little live rewatch and break it down a little bit. See my local boy William Sites up there right now. So a lot of stuff has happened in USA Crits recently. I did not do one of these streams for the Littleton Crit because I did 2 races that day, and I actually watched it live, but I was watching it live in a crappy hotel room in Mobile, Alabama. I did not have good enough internet to do that, and now it's just gone from the internet, I guess. So whatever. But Birmingham Hammerfest coming out of Littleton. So Littleton was crazy. It was raining and Legion got a call up. What's up? Welcome. Appreciate it. So Legion gets a call up because they are the first place team in the overall team competition. So their whole team got a call up at Littleton, which means they start in the front. It was raining at Littleton. They put the pressure on from the gun, and in the rain, there's there's more of a speed limit in the corners. You can't just blast through the corners. So already being up front makes it it really puts you in the driver's seat of the race, like literally and figuratively. So they pretty much went super hard for the first like 10 laps and shelled half the field. And that race was super crazy. Wish I could have done a breakdown on that, but it looks like it's just like gone from the internet. So this was the next race up. The interesting thing here is who's not here. So I'll talk about this more later, but Justin and Corey are not here. I've got some ideas about why I think that is, and they put forward some reasons that it might have been on the USA Crit stream, but a lot of rumors and speculation flying around about that. So because Legion's not here, you can see Automatic just took it from the gun, just took it by the horns right out of the gate right here. Yeah, the whole Automatic team, basically every team that's not Legion, smells blood in the water here because Legion didn't send their stars, and sees this as their opportunity. So all of the like Automatic, Butcherbox, Cliff Bar. I know a lot of people from Birmingham, myself included to some degree, were like disappointed that Justin and Corey weren't here, but I think it actually made for a more interesting race. With it being like a little bit more wide open, and Legion didn't have that super deep squad to just control the front the whole race that they have been. It did 2 things. Like it made the race, you don't just have the same people controlling it the whole time, and then everyone sees that opportunity and is a little bit more motivated to get up the road. I think the fact that everyone knows Legion is going to just control it the whole time, some people maybe see the opportunity to do a little attack and just don't take it because they think, what's the point if I get up there solo? Legion's just going to pull it back. Whereas today, everybody was just kind of throwing Hail Marys. And this was, as I do this live rewatch, it's Monday. This happened on Saturday. I also raced this day. Actually, let's I'll show you guys the extent of the GoPro footage I got that day. This is my footage from the race. I'm on the line. I'm sitting there on the line. And this is the end of the footage at 3 minutes. So that was cool. It was 102 degrees on the line. So I think what happened is we were lined up in direct sunlight for my race. It was about 3 hours before these guys went off, 4 hours before these guys went off. And I think my GoPro overheated because my Garmin was reading 102 degrees. Not as much of a factor, the heat in this men's D1 race, because it had, I think they started at 7:30, so kind of right as sun goes down. It was real hot, real humid. You can see right here, Amino Rip out of Florida sending somebody to the front. I don't think we've seen them at the front all season. A few of their guys were also in my race right before, a few hours before this. We got David Dawson with the mustache in the Automatic kit right there. So this was Saturday. On Sunday, we did a group ride with some of these guys, so I was able to pick their brains a little bit and talk to them about what happened. And David Dawson actually had some good insight that I will talk through as we get there. So early point sprint right here. I believe the dude from Amino Rip got it, and Gibbons was second in that point sprint, which means that he got some points. So a lot of interesting stuff going on here with all the competitions. Everybody's looking for points in this race. Everything's up for grabs, and this back section was a lot more bumpy and chewed up than it looks like. It looks pretty easy, but there was everybody's kind of searching for a line that didn't have like a pothole or a crack or a manhole cover on it. This section from turn 4 to turn 1, it's a little bit uphill to the finish line and a little bit downhill after, probably like 1% up, 1% down. But this is like freshly repaved, totally good to go. You can see Gibbons right there. So Thomas Gibbons is going into this race. I think he was second or third in the individual rider competition. He had just gotten second. I believe he got second at Salt Lake. He's had a few like podiums, but not a win this season. But he's been super consistent. He's as good of a sprinter, I think, as Justin or Corey. He just doesn't have the depth of a team. So I think he saw this as a huge opportunity. And then we've got Best Buddies, the other team of Crit Beef here in the green at the front. And obviously they see it's not even that there's no Legion here. Legion has 4 guys here, but it's not Justin, not Corey. So I think Best Buddies wants to get a win. Everybody sees this as their opportunity to get a win. So the people that are here from Legion, we've got Ty Magner. Ty is the guy who ripped the field in half in the second day of God, what race was that? He's the one who did the pull that ripped the field in half, and people thought Justin sat up, but Justin did not sit up. He just, the pull was too hard. So Ty is a beast. I think he also won the overall at Intelligentsia Cup. He definitely won some races at Intelligentsia Cup. So he's here, and then we've got Ama Insec. You can see him right there. Okay, here goes Danny Summerhill. Confusingly, Danny Summerhill in the blue front right there. He's on Best Buddies, the team in the highlighter yellow jerseys. But he is in the Colativa lap leader jersey. He's in the lap leader jersey for the race series, which is blue. So just know that he's on that highlighter team. Super strong. But yeah, so we got Hunter Grove from Legion is trying to pull Summerhill back right here. Then we've also got Ty Magner, who I mentioned a minute ago. Ty is an absolute hoss. And then we've got 2 of their like sort of development riders stepping up to the D1 ranks for the first time here. Ama Insec, that's AMA, and then his last name is NSEK, and then his brother Emma, which is IMEH, both Insec. They are in this race, and then so Legion only has 4, and I think the fact that they only had 4 riders here versus 6 as a full squad in a USA Crits race. Normally with the 6 riders, they dedicate 2 to setting pace all the time. You're right. Yes. Blue Dome, which is the second day of Tulsa Tough, was when Ty Magner ripped the field in half doing his lead out. So that dude has got some legs, and that will come back in this race for sure. So I am just to the left of that start line here. You can't see me in this crane shot. This shot was cool though. They had like a boom crane coming out over the course. Yeah, I'm in one of those tents right there. Super sick. I feel like the shot here doesn't do justice to how many people are out here because a lot of people are right behind the camera in corner 1 there. That was kind of the main spot people were hanging out because that's like the edge of the closure, and then there's an ice cream place and a bar right there. A lot of people were hanging out at the bar. Really cool. But so Automatic, I clocked this immediately. Automatic is trying to do what Legion normally does and go to the front, get their whole squad to the front, and just make it super fast and like assert dominance at the front. Rob, my race was good. This road is super smooth. So the front is super smooth. The backside is iffy. So my race was good. I was hoping for a little bit more. was eighth across the line, so it got really confusing. I haven't seen official results yet, but break got away around 15 minutes in. I was a little too far back to cover it. I should talk about this course is really short. It's hard to tell on this coverage, but this is only coming out of corner 2 going into corner 3. That's only 2 blocks, and then it's 1 block the other way. So it's a rectangle that is 2 blocks by 1 block all the way around. So the longest straightaway you've got at any given point is 2 blocks, which is not a lot of time to move up before you got to set up for another turn. And like the first 20 minutes of my race, we were doing like 28, 29 miles an hour. I think it was 28.5 or something was the average for the first 20 minutes. So it was like to move up, you kind of had to, pop out into the wind, go up a couple of spots, and that was all you were going to get before everyone sort of swings over and sets up for the next corner. So it was weird because normally a course that races real fast and is like not super technical is a course that it's really easy to move up on, but it was like this was 4 corners. None of the corners are really tight and technical. You didn't have to touch brakes really. People were touching brakes right here because this is a little downhill, but you didn't have to. If you were touching brakes there, you were doing it wrong. But this was we did over 28 for the first 20 minutes, and then the break got away and it kind of settled down. So I say that I don't know exactly what my result was because break got away, super short course. We were turning 58-second laps, so sub 1 minute laps. And when the field is strung out, you're strung out over almost half the course. So really, a break only has to get 40 seconds, 40 seconds, and then you lap the field. So that's exactly what happened. Strong break got away with, I guess the main guy was Michael Lambert, who Lambert is, he's from Alabama, or really he's from Wisconsin. He started racing when he was in Alabama, going to the University of Alabama. And I spent many years of my early career battling him, but he was 9th at USA Amateur Nationals road race this year. So he's on one form wise. He got away with a couple other strong time trial guys. Believe it was a break of 5, and they lapped up. And once they got away, and they had the big teams represented, the field kind of got real surgy and like fast, slow, and we got down to like 26 miles an hour for a few laps, and they were able to lap up real quick. And then, so all that to say, because of that, plus some people were getting pulled or pulling themselves. Whoop. Yeah, that was okay. That was on the stream. That's not me. Getting pulled or pulling themselves. They the scoring just got a little bit wacky. So I actually talked to some of these guys on the group ride the next day, and was just picking their brains about if they were having the same experience of like, it's not that it was hard to move up or impossible to move up. It was just that like you couldn't say I want to move up, pop out to the side right here and pick up 10 places because everybody's going fast. Coming out of turn 2 is kind of downhill, so that whole back stretch you were going fast. This is a little bit uphill. Then you make this turn and it's still a little bit uphill. But by the time, so really, that's a super short block to there. It's uphill to the finish line, but pretty much by the time you got to the finish, you needed to stop pedaling and let that gap to the guy in front of you go out a little bit, just in case they touch brakes to give you that buffer. Because from here to turn 1, it's downhill. So if you were pedaling here, you were braking. Noticing my young ward William Seitz in the orange helmet, orange kit there at the back. He had a great race. So automatic here, just establishing dominance at the front. In the orange kits, they look like what Legion normally looks like, full team at the front. And I was able to talk to some of those guys on the group ride on Sunday, and I was asking them about, so a question I get a lot on this channel and from people who watch this channel is like, why? So everyone knows what Legion's going to do. Everyone knows that Legion's going to do the thing automatic is doing. Put your whole team on the front, 2 guys rotate, dedicate more guys to the chase as it gets more dangerous, as a break gets away. Why multiple teams put guys up the road at the same time and work together. And my theory on this was confirmed by Davey from Automatic, but I was asking him about it. And my theory was that because Legion is 6 deep on the front, you got 6 guys up there. And these are criteriums, so really 3 or 4 blocks. So like 20, 30 seconds is like the longest straightaway before a corner. You're kind of waiting. If you want to attack, you're another rider. You're at least 6 wheels back because Legion has 6 at the front. So you're 7th wheel. You're kind of looking for an opening where like maybe it slows down a touch. What's up, Rob? Welcome. Oh no, Rob and Damon. What's up, Damon? Welcome. So you're looking for an open door to slip through, and when you see one, you take it. You really need 4 or 5 or 6 riders to those are the sponsors of this race series. They just cycle through them. That's not mine. That's from USA Cycling. I wish Wahoo was sponsoring me. They're out of Atlanta. I know a bunch of people who work for Wahoo. Hook me up, guys. I got a Wahoo trainer right here. Yeah. So the reason multiple people don't get up the road at the same time, though, is that Legion train is so deep. One guy attacks, another guy says, oh, good, an attack, I'll cover that. You can maybe get 2 or 3 guys around that 6-person deep Legion train before you get to that next corner. And when you go through the corner, Legion is going to swing all the way inside, all the way outside, all the way back inside. And that effectively, like, cuts off the line for others. TBD, Damon. We'll see. I mean, I hope that I'm just providing some context and some insight. And people do this on Twitch a lot, just like watch other videos and talk about them. So I'm hoping that this is kosher and just getting some more eyeballs on the series and adding some insight and some context around what's going on in American racing. I think because I raced this a few hours before and rode with all these guys yesterday. What's up, Mutts? Welcome. I've got a little bit of different perspective on it that I can bring in. And kind of my goal with all of this coverage of the American criterium racing is to make it something that people can like understand and engage with beyond just here are guys doing laps of a track. Like these are the conversations that I was having during this race with people. You know, people are just walking up. There's bars and stuff around here, so people are just walking up saying like, what is this, what's going on? And even people who know cycling are you know, asking questions about who are these guys and what are they doing, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I hope so, Rob. I mean, we'll see. I know better than that, Damon. I'm already on Zwift's shit list. Hopefully USA Crits likes me. Hey, I'll do something in an official capacity if they want me to. I would love to. I'm just a fan. And I'm watching and talking. Oh, here's Davey. So Davey, all that stuff I was saying about why multiple riders don't get together off the front when Legion is controlling it, a lot of that's coming from Davey, who is on the front right now. Had a good chat with him on the ride yesterday. Super strong guy. But yeah, so basically because, you know, they're controlling the front, they're controlling the line, they can shut the door on anybody who's trying to come around with speed. You really can only get 2 or 3 guys up the road at a time because you can only get 2 or 3 guys together up the road at a time. And then Legion has 6 there. They can commit 4 to the chase and it comes back pretty easily. So that's sort of yeah, agreed, Damon. I mean, you're going to get more people to watch that than they're going to get to watch a commercial. So it seems like a no-brainer to me. But we both know that Zwift maybe doesn't see it that way. So, I mean, another thing I would hope to get out of this is Hammerfest is an awesome event, and I would love to see more of you guys out there. It was, speaking of like the connections and stuff. Um, I got to race with Frank Cundiff from Project Echelon, who I raced RGT with all last winter. Damon did coverage of that, so it was cool to see him. But yeah, a lot of people came to town that are, regional, and it was awesome to have. I mean, all these national athletes. So this is Gibbons. The way you can spot Gibbons is that he's orange kit, black helmet, blue Cervelo, but the highlighter yellow gloves. So glad he was wearing those because it always makes it way easier, especially like when you're on the side of the course and these guys are doing 30. I think they were doing 30, 31 for the first 20 minutes. So when they're doing those kind of speeds, it's hard to like clock faces. So you almost have to like pick out a piece of gear. So there's William. Speaking of piece of gear, bright orange helmet. That's Will Seitz from Birmingham. He goes to Milligan College, which is a sponsor of that Robson Forensic team with the like Tide NASCAR looking kits. And they didn't send a full squad here, so William was able to get a call up and give this race a go, and he killed it. Oh, he is on a giant. Good call, Rick. He was on a Cervelo last season. That's what I'm thinking of. Oh, this is another Best Buddies rider. I believe this is Estevez, but he's in the Best Young Riders jersey. This race was so aggressive. So this was the most aggressive USA Crits race all season. Because when Legion is controlling the front the way that they do, these individual rider attacks feel very it feels like you're not going to get anywhere, and you're not, because Legion is just going to commit those guys to the chase, and they're very drilled on like, first guy takes a pull, pulls off, someone in the train knows exactly where to let them in, lets that guy back in, and they just keep it rolling, keep that pace high, much higher than one guy could commit to. But because everybody is trying it here, everybody is wearing each other out, and you're catching these lulls, and like a single rider is getting a significant gap. What is Hernandez hoping to achieve? Like I'm saying, this is probably the first race this season where a solo rider could actually do something, but also Hernandez is in the lead. Let's go. How about this? Let's look at the. I've got the leader points here. So let's look at. I'll pull it up in a second. Yes, Michael Hernandez. He is the Best Young Rider leader, and the way the Best Young Rider competition is scored, this is something I hadn't clocked before, but it's interesting. So you see over there, this is the scoring. So there are total points in this column right in the middle here. You've got points for starting the Birmingham race, points for leading laps. So he's getting lap leader points every time he comes through in first. And then there are sprint points. So if there is a points preem in the middle while he's off the front here, he's going to pick up those points. And then you got sprint 1, you got mid-race sprint 3, and then points at the finish. So all of those points count toward your total current points for the Best Young Rider. So I believe what he's trying to do is stay away from Spencer Movanzata of Butcherbox in second on that competition. Yeah. Rob, that is exactly the kind of question that I am here to answer. That's the stuff I want to talk about. So keep those questions coming for sure. But I also think that Best Buddies, so where Automatics plan was to let's get our whole team to the front and just make it fast, just consistently keep it fast. I think Best Buddies kind of had a different plan, which was to take these like individual flyers off the front and make it hard that way, rather than having their whole team get to the front at one time, kind of send guys off the front one at a time. The rest of the team can sit back a little farther and wait and see if those individual attacks like coax anybody out. So we got Ty Magner. I think this is Ty here, recognizing, yeah, that's definitely Ty. I think what's going on here is that Ty is recognizing that like this is not the normal Legion race. So it would actually be good for Legion if we can get a break started ourselves rather than letting people attack us, and then the pressure is on us to chase. Because as the team that's leading the team competition, the team that's won every race of the USA Crit season to this point, everyone, even though they only have four guys, everyone's kind of going to be looking at them to chase a breakaway. If a real breakaway with 4, 5, 6 strong guys gets away, everybody's going to look at Legion. So I think probably what Ty, like the calculation in his mind here was, if I'm the one who makes that breakaway happen, we don't have to send anybody across to it. Oh, so there were some like touches of wheels, no bad crashes, but just some like argy bargy touches of wheels, guys coming out of the pit here. Um, that just kept happening, and the field kept getting like these like 4 and 5 rider groups where guys were getting caught up behind stuff and then having to get put back in. Got real crazy here in the middle. So people a lot of times think like, so you get a free lap when you get caught behind something, have to put a foot down, and people often think like, oh, a free lap, that sounds nice. I'll get a little rest and hang out and get put back in. Or people even think it's like akin to cheating, but a free lap is terrible. If you've ever done like a coffee stop on a ride, store stop on a ride, had like, 2, 3 minutes off the bike, and then you get back on and your legs just feel like stiff and terrible and you feel like crap for the next 5 minutes. Imagine doing that, but instead of getting on your bike and just getting going, you have to do basically like a 1 minute power PB to get back up to 30 miles an hour. And then if you're lucky at the end of that, you get to sit in a Peloton that's doing 28 to 31 miles per hour. So that's a terrible feeling. Pretty close, Rob. I would say so. Like in my race, I was doing 500 or 600 watts out of each of these corners. Most of these corners, they're probably doing more. It's probably at the front. You're keeping it a little bit smoother. The As you get farther and farther back, one guy breaks a little bit, the next guy has to break a little bit more to avoid him, and that just accordion effect goes back. So then the acceleration you have to do after is more. That's another reason these guys are going up the road solo and really just trying to like be off the front. Is you can take, especially on this course, all these corners. If you were alone and no one's like trying to get around you and dive under your wheel or whatever, you don't have anyone in front of you, you could pretty much pedal through all these corners if you wanted to. Probably corner one you don't want to because it's a little bit downhill right here. But there were even times I was pedaling through corner one if we had not hit that start straight super hard. So what Frank Travieso is about to get across to this move here. He is crit legend out of Athens, Georgia. His wife, significant other, Ashley, puts on the Athens Twilight race that is next weekend. But Frank the Tank, he is on the back of that move. He's racing. I guess he's like guest riding for Amino Rip, or maybe he's just on that team now. But so this has become a dangerous move. You got every team represented here for real. Every team that matters except for Automatic. So Automatic, who did all that work in the first few minutes to really establish their dominance and kind of control the race and make it hard and hopefully shell some people. That's another thing I asked was like, were you guys trying to drop people from the field with that first effort? And they said, yeah, like their objective, Automatic's objective with going to the front was to make it real hard, and if not drop people, just make them work super hard for that first 20 minutes. But so this is that, maybe not backfiring, but this has just put them in a position where they have to chase. This move has gotten away. We've got Cliff Bar, Butcher Box, Legion, Best Buddies, 2 from Best Buddies, I think. Primal Audi Denver has a guy in here. So all of those teams are represented. All of their teammates are not going to be chasing behind. So it's kind of on automatic here to chase. And this was one of several times during this race where I was like, ooh, this break may be gone. Because that's a course that's that races this fast. It's not super technical. It's, you're turning often, but you're not turning that sharp. Um, so a bigger group on a more technical course, a group this big wouldn't be great, but a group this size on a course that is this non-technical is pretty threatening if everyone is working. The question is, there may be guys in this group who actually don't want this breakaway to go. Maybe they have a sprinter back in the field. So if you're a team that has a sprinter back in the field and you have someone who's able to make the breakaway, what they do is like, they're lined up, first guy peels off, next guy comes through. You just don't come through. You just sit on the back and refuse to do any work. And basically that makes it where if that break does go to the line, they just ignore you on the back and just say, whatever, I'm going to work. I want this break to go. You potentially are the freshest guy in that group because you've just been sitting on the back the whole time. And maybe even if you're not the strongest guy there, you're the freshest guy there, and you can, potentially win that. But if you're hoping to set it up for your sprinter back in the field, what you're hoping happens is they see you not taking pulls and go, well, I'm not going to commit to this and just drag this guy away from the field and let him sit back there and be fresh. So then, the it's going to stop rotating as well, slow down a little bit, and the break is going to get caught. So then another team has spent some matches, burned some guys off, and your sprinter has just been sitting pretty in the field the whole time. So Gibbons, looks like we got an automatic racer who was caught behind a crash. I think I also saw TJ Killalea out of Nashville in the pit there. So that's Gibbons himself bringing this back. That means that this is an emergency for automatic. The only reason you're going to see the sprinters, the only reason you're going to see like Justin or Corey from Legion or Thomas Gibbons from automatic taking a single pull is if a breakaway is a way that they really think there's no other way it's going to come back than if one of the strongest guys, take a pull there. Yeah, once again, guys walk into the pit. So all of these, I was kind of hoping that on the stream I would see some of these crashes or whatever. I don't think any of these crashes were bad. Like there were no broken frames. No, I didn't even see any guys with like bandages on or anything. Yeah, exactly, Jimmy. I think Cliff Bar's play here. So let's talk about Cliff Bar. They're kind of a team of I would say like breakaway specialists, and they only had 3 or 4 guys come to this race. So I think that they knew their play had to either be just cover these early moves and do nothing and just hope that it goes in spite of that, or start throwing Hail Marys at like the 45-minute mark. That seemed like it was their plan. This is the first time we've seen significant time up the front from Primal Audi Denver, which was cool. But yeah, so there were all these little things where I kept seeing guys were getting put back in from the pit, but I never saw a crash. But I was only seeing like this straightaway. I'm like on the right up there. Live, I could see the stream when I was live, but it was like, I'm kind of looking over people's shoulders in the VIP tent or whatever. But yeah, I kept seeing all these people in the pit. And so I was kind of hoping that watching this stream back, I was going to see what happened crash-wise. It seems like there were just some like touches of wheels where guys got squirrely, but like nobody was like flipping over the bars and, cracking bars and all that stuff. There were no crashes in my 1-2-3 race, which was sick. Love that. Let's keep that going, everybody. No crashes. Couple squirrely moments, but nothing too bad. A couple very motivated juniors just banging bars with people for no reason, like having huge open spaces to either side of them and choosing to ram into people. But in the 1-2 race, people know how to handle that. They just kind of shoulder into each other and we're fine. But don't do that if you don't need to. I'm going to make a whole video about making contact in races and like why you should do that and why you shouldn't do that. That's one of those things. speaking of Cliff Bar, here goes Connor Mullerby from Cliff Bar, breakaway specialist with Spencer Movinzada from Butcher Box. Spencer is also a sort of long range breakaway specialist. He's also second in the Best Young Rider competition. So he is. I'm gonna look right now. Actually, he may be doing pretty well in the individual. Yeah, he's sixth in the individual. He's second in the Best Young Rider competition. So Movinzada was definitely looking to do something this night. I called him out from the beginning as like one of the 10 guys to watch in this race, and he was consistently here. He is driving it on the front. That's Spencer Movinzada, white helmet, red kit, clear glasses. He's best young rider, so he must be under 23. I know he's a younger guy, and then that's Dawson from Automatic in this move. So I think Automatic knew after they brought back that previous move. So there's a mid race point sprint on the next lap. So all those guys in the breakaway are actually going to be probably, especially Movinzada, going to be battling each other for the mid race points because, as I pointed out a minute ago, the mid race points count for all of the other competitions as well, like the best young rider, the individual, maybe even the team also. So the team competition, like everyone your team has in the race gets a few points for starting and then points based on their finish position. I'm not sure if the mid-race points premium points go into that bucket as well, but it's basically like all the points that everyone on your team scores throughout the whole race. So that's another reason that teams might be sticking guys in these breakaways that they don't think is like maybe it's not going to go, but they want to grab some of these points. Clearly, we've got Hernandez in the gray, so that's Hernandez for best buddies in the gray. Yeah, Hernandez in the gray for best buddies there, taking the mid race points, and he is the leader of the best young rider, and then I think Movinzada was like third there. He's second in the best young rider, but that's how you keep that jersey. He knows where to be, when to be up here. This is a pretty dangerous move, and yeah, here's Movinzada just driving it again. You can tell there are some guys who are just sitting on though, like Dawson from Automatic is on the back there. This is Automatic. So Automatic did all that work to bring back the previous move that basically looked like this. It was like 8 guys up the road, and that was when I pointed out Givens was on the front bringing it back. They had nobody in that move, so I think Dawson probably recognized here that he's doing that tactic I was talking about earlier, where he just wants to get in that move, do zero work, and hope that it comes back because he wants Gibbons to sprint. Like Automatic is all in for Gibbons. So if they don't put someone in this move, they're going to have to be the ones to chase it back. But because they have Dawson in the move, and Dawson is literally just going to sit last wheel in the draft this whole time, saving energy, he's going to hope that at some point Movinzada is going to get fed up with that. At some point, let's see who else we got up here. Connor Muller v. Ty Magner. This is a dangerous move. That's a lot of firepower. The first 3 guys in that line, Movinzada, Magner, Hernandez, those are all like, national caliber riders who can make a breakaway work, good time trialists. Oh yeah, and Butcherbox also has Connor Solly in here, which that's sort of even bigger of a move from them. Connor, I don't know if I would call him like a sprinter, but Connor Solly, he's definitely got a kick. So from a group like this, like if this group of 8 went to the line, he could potentially take it from that reduced group. Like he's probably not going to win a heads up sprint against Justin, but a sprint among a group of 8 where most of those guys are not sprinters. Most of those guys are time trialists type, steady long power guys. Movinzada, you can see him. He's like, let's go. This is my thing. Like I wanted to get in this break. Here's the thing with a break that's this big though. When the break is 4 or 5 people, it's really easy to keep track of that single file line, keep the rotation going. Even if there's like 1 or 2 guys that are not contributing, it's easy to skip them. But when a group gets this big, and everyone's motivation is not the same. Everybody's level of motivation is not the same. Uh, it just doesn't rotate as smoothly. Oh, it looks like Travieso's up here again. I think he bridged across the gap. I don't know when he must have done that in like 1 second while I wasn't looking, or he had sort of been in the middle that whole time and I hadn't clocked him, because those amino rip jerseys are, it's like a blackish. There's actually some colors to it, but it's hard to see. It's like blackish jersey with a gold band on the arm, but it's a little bit hard to spot at these twilight races where it's dark. Um, as dark as this is, I've got some footage from my second race in Mobile, Alabama. That was the same day as Littleton Twilight, but it was like pitch black to the point that my GoPro footage is basically a black rectangle with power metrics on it. It got real crazy. We handled it, no crashes or anything, and I had a super fun race. But it's nice at this race that they brought out the big lights. Yeah, this was once again one where I was like, this breakaway could go even more so than the last one, because automatic has Dawson in it. Dawson's really easy to spot because he's got the plug gauge earrings, the big mustache, and hair kind of coming out the back. He kind of looks like Sam Boardman from Legion. He's like automatic's Boardman. Movinzada is not happy with this group. He feels like the group is too easy, so he is attacking from the breakaway to make hopefully a smaller breakaway of the guys that are really motivated to work. But Movinzada he was so aggressive this race. Like, I couldn't believe thanks Jimmy, appreciate it. Yeah, so this was the first year that Mobile race had not been downtown. I was a little bit disappointed in that. I really liked the downtown Mobile course, especially when they had made it like an 8-corner thing. I love a really technical crit with a lot of corners. So this like office park style crit. For anybody who doesn't know, I am technically Alabama state criterium champion because I was this race in Mobile, Alabama was the state criterium championship, and there were not a ton of Alabama riders in it because Mobile is like the farthest south of the state, so a lot of the northern guys didn't make it. And then within the race, there was sort of like 2 races going on. It was like one of those tour stages where there are some guys just going for the mountain points and then some guys racing for the win, where there was a race within the race among the Alabama guys. But I was 5th on the line, I think, but no one who made the break was from Alabama. So winning the field sprint, I won the championship. So 2021 Alabama state criterium champion. Psyched about that. The second course, not the one that was state championship, the second course was like 2 180s. It was like a capital L shape with a 180 corner on either end, like a hairpin. And that course was super fun. I'm going to lobby for this race to go a block farther and have a 180 next year. That's going to be my pitch to the organizers of Birmingham Hammerfest. Yeah. Yeah, no, I am. I say technically because like I was not first on the line in that race. It was 5th or 6th or something, but I was the first Alabama racer, and there was this thing where all of the Alabama guys we were clocking each other and marking each other, so it was easier for non-Alabama guys to get away because we weren't chasing them. So there was like a breakaway of there was 2 races in the race. It got a little crazy, but yes, I am Alabama state criterium champion. I got the jersey here somewhere. I don't know if I could see it, I would grab it. But yeah, I have a jersey. It's a good looking jersey. I'm psyched about it. Definitely gonna ride around in that. So this race is back together again. I really thought that move that was up the road a second ago in getting back to this race, not talking about my own crappy middling Cat 2 exploits. I really thought that 8 rider breakaway that Movinzada attacked a second ago, I really thought that had potential because it was like who's gonna chase now? Like if Legion's represented, Best Buddies is represented, Automatic is represented. So I'm not sure who exactly chased that down. Looks like, yep, that's Danny Summerhill in the royal blue jersey there. He's actually on Best Buddies, which is the team in the highlighter green jerseys, but he's in that lap leader jersey once again. It looks more like a Cliff Bar kit, but it's not. The Cliff Bar guys are insane rocking the long sleeve skin suits. I don't know if that's just a thing of like, oh, we're from Colorado and we race in the cold all the time, but even though it's dark now, it was probably still 88 degrees Fahrenheit during this race. I mean, like I raced 3 hours before and my GoPro shut down due to the heat on the line. So Rob, the result in Zwift Power is the result. So you won that race. Congratulations. Yeah, if somebody got disqualified on Zwift Power, you are the winner, my man. Congratulations. ButcherBox so aggressive. So this is what made this race so awesome is all of these teams that have just been kind of like on yeah. Rob, Alabama is yeah, Pete knows. Pete was there. Pete, how hot was it when you raced? Pete did the massive mountain biker 0918. I'm doxing him right now. That's Pete. He did the Masters race earlier this day. And basically, I'm just repeating all of my talking points from the conversation I had with him while we were watching this race. So, Pete, ask me some of your dumb questions on here, and I'll repeat those answers. Yeah, 99 degrees. Mine said it was 102 for the first 20 minutes of my race. Here goes Movinzada again. I'm telling you, like, this is what made this race so awesome. I guess I should get into the Legion stuff. So we're deep enough in the video right now that I can do some wild speculation and start some rumors and stuff. And only the true heads are gonna find this. But okay, Legion did not send Justin or Corey, and even I had told people like, yeah, Justin and Corey, of course, will be here. They're leading this. Like Legion has won every race. Justin and Corey have done every USA Crits race, even when USA Crits races were conflicting with other major races like Intelligentsia or Tour of America's Dairyland. Like Legion was choosing to send the A squad to the USA Crits races, which I thought that meant they were fully committed to this series, and I thought that they were going to send their stars to every USA Crits race and super commit to that, and that may have been the plan initially. So the official line from Frankie here, as people were lining up and they were doing call ups, is that Justin is going to race the Continental Championships with the Belize team, the Pan American Championships, and Corey just didn't want to do the travel for a one-day race, which is like a little bit sus to me because he has done travel for one-day races this season. Here's what I think is going on. So I'm putting a few pieces together, but I'll connect the red string for you guys here as we watch Movinzada just continually just go for it. Dude is killing it. So Justin was leading the individual rider competition coming into this race. He's been leading it since the beginning of the season, pretty much. Maybe even the every race he's been leading it. So I noticed he was not wearing his orange leader's jersey at the second race and third race. He's not wearing the orange jersey, which got clocked on the coverage a little bit. I'd never seen anybody be in the. It's like if you were leading the Tour de France and you were just like, I'm not wearing the yellow jersey. I don't want to wear it. Never happened. Yes, thank you, Pete. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe for these wild rumors and speculations about what's going on with Legion. So races 3 and 4 of the USA Crit Series, he's wearing the orange leader's jersey to the line. And when they do the call up, they'll say, like, Justin Williams, your leader. He shows up, pulls up to the line, unzips it, takes the jersey off, races in his Legion jersey. I think I my thought is that there was some sort of back and forth between him and USA Crits where they said like, "Hey, we got this leaders jersey. You got to wear the leaders jersey." And he said, "I've got these sponsors like probably their Zwift sponsorship contract is worth more than every other team here's full budget. They're bringing a whole new level of sponsorship opportunity to USA Crits, and probably to have their star rider covering that up with the Colativa leaders jersey for the series. Sponsors, I don't know if anyone at any of their sponsors, Zwift being the most prominent one, balked at that, or if they just said like, "Hey, this is how we're providing the value to our sponsors." But like, I gotta get the finished picture where I'm posted up has to be the Legion kit. And I don't. This is just what I think happened. But I was posing this theory to a friend of mine who works in the cycling media, who was at this race, and he said also like, I don't know any of that to be true for sure, but that all tracks. It makes sense. And he said that he saw the director of USA Crits and the director sportif, the guy who like handles all the registrations and everything for Legion, having a very heated argument at Salt Lake or Littleton. A heated discussion, we'll say, maybe not an argument, but like, and he clocked. He didn't hear exactly what they were talking about. It was clearly intense, and he logged that away in his mind of like, what are they arguing about? You know, what's going on there? I think that might have been the Justin has to wear the jersey. No, he doesn't. And so I think that maybe this was them saying, I mean, probably also they didn't want to come to Birmingham. It's really far away. It's the newest race. This race has like the least clout in the series. This is only the second edition of this race. Having said that, if you don't want to come to Birmingham, you're wrong. Everybody who came to Birmingham was psyched. I talked to several people at the group ride on Sunday who came up from Florida, came from all over, and were like, the riding here is incredible. Like, this is awesome. We had great coffee this morning. Like, it rules. What's going on? And I was like, yeah, Birmingham rules. You should come here. It's great. So I'll say that they're wrong for that. There's also, they could have done similar. I know when they were in Tulsa, they did a tour of some of the like civil rights stuff. Birmingham, kind of the civil rights capital of the South. So we got a civil rights museum. We've got memorials, a lot of cool stuff, like on the tourist side from that perspective. So that's what I think is. So I think maybe what's going on, the end result of all of that Legion stuff, is that I think, and again, like asterisks everywhere, this is me just speculating. I think that Legion probably said like, okay, well, we're going to take our star power and go elsewhere. Like, you can't make us do anything. I'm thinking probably USA Crit said, you have to wear the leader's jersey the whole time or you can't race. We're going to pull you. And they said, you can't make us do anything. You need us more than we need you. We are your star racers. So we're going to just take this one race that we maybe didn't want to do anyway. We're going to take our ball and head home. And I think that's maybe what's going on. So more brutal attacks from Butcher Box here. Getting back into the Rob. So the rumor I have heard, Rob, is that he may be done with the USA Crit series for the year. He may be doing other races for the rest of the year. And I haven't heard a reason for that, but I think there is probably, again, I think there's some behind the scenes thing that happened between Legion and them, and yeah. Pete is also right about that. All the D1 riders, everybody I talked to was shocked at how cool Birmingham is because Birmingham rules. I'm going back through the chat now. I know there was a lot of questions coming in while I was talking. how I was talking that whole time. Wonder if they'll be in Athens, Jimmy. I don't know. So I think I'm going to be in Athens. I think I'm going to try and do Spartanburg and then potentially Athens. I have a work thing I have to do in Anniston, which is like halfway to Athens. So I think I may try and do Spartanburg and then Athens. So hey, if you're going to be in Athens, look for me out there. I will be by myself, no teammates, nobody else. Pete asked how many watts did they pull to get that far ahead. Imagine that anybody who's getting legitimate separation is doing a lap at probably 500 watts for a minute or two to get like a good separation, a good solid. And these guys are like different, weights and sizes. You'll also notice though, like almost everybody who podiumed in my race is like twice my size. A race like this where there's not really a spot you have to slow down, there's not really a technical element to it. This is really like a raw watt rider's dream, which is again why I'm no spin the district, Mike. So I'm gonna have to. I really wanted to do Speed Week to just go do all of it. I cannot do that. I probably shouldn't be doing Spartanburg and Twilight, but I'm gonna do Spartanburg and Twilight, I think, and then call it on my road season because I just bought a new house. And actually, when I'm done with this stream, I'm gonna pack up all this gear in the pain cave, the whole streaming setup, and move it to the new house, which my beautiful fiance Sarah is at the new house painting the walls right now. So I got a little bit of life stuff that sort of trumps bike racing for a minute here. I got to get moved into the new house. Could USA crits be every weekend so Spencer can make here? That so Joel, it pretty much is every weekend from here on out. This weekend they got Spartanburg and Athens. Then I imagine most people who do those are going to do all of Speed Week. Speed Week is the like Georgia and South Carolina full week of racing that goes into Spin the District in Atlanta the weekend after. Not yet, Pete, but I may. I'm gonna get. So the plan for the new house is we're going to move all the small stuff over the next week or two. I have until September 20th to get in there, so that's the hard stop date. So I'm gonna do these hard races this weekend. Call that a wrap on my season. Take a couple weeks off the bike to rework. I think I'm just gonna take this green screen with me, Rob. Thankfully, no, I've staked out the crappiest room in the house as the pain cave, and she is not gonna do a single thing in there because that room. There's like one room that was an addition to the back of the house, and it's carpeted. It's a crappy wall color. It's just the crappiest room in the house. And so because of that, I was like, hey, instead of doing a bunch of work on this room, what if I put my trainer and my bikes and all of my music equipment and my gaming PC back there? Thanks, Pete. Will do if I need you. Yeah, so we're gonna move all the small stuff, and then we're painting, getting work done, and then get a truck to move everything in a week. Yeah, Mike. I think I'm already pushing the limits of my marital status by doing Athens and Spartanburg and Athens this weekend, and also the limits of my fitness because I'm probably not going to get to ride much this week. So I'm hoping that I can come in like just coasting on the fumes that I've built up all summer. So this is Ama right here. That's Ama Insec. He's the he won some of the so not the D1 races, but the Pro 1-2 races, the races that I would have been in. He won those at Tulsa. I think he won it at Salt Lake as well, at least on the day like where they raced through the mall. Oh, Salt Lake. So some intel on that. Some of the guys I was talking to some of these guys about that race, and they were saying that so the race that kind of goes like through there's like a bridge part and it goes under the bridge. First day of Salt Lake, it apparently the road surface there is terrible. It's not even really a road surface. That's like a pedestrian mall promenade thing, and it's like poured slabs of concrete that have those cracks between the slabs. And then because the course sort of like does this gentle turn and the crack is like this, there are times that the crack is like you can't go fully perpendicular to it, so you're kind of like hopping over these cracks the way you would hop over a railroad track or something. So if you watched this most recent year, the first day of Salt Lake, there were a decent number of crashes, and they're saying that the road surface is part of that. So they're hoping for a change before next year. And then if you watched 2019 Salt Lake, that was the race where like all of Butcherbach's whole team was together hammering and just got taken out. So yeah, very treacherous race there. Movinzada again. We got Movinzada and Summerhill. This is dangerous. This race has been so aggressive the whole time. Everyone is just totally knackered here. And I mean, you can see like, I think they shed over half the field by this point. So Movinzada and Summerhill, both two steady wattage powerhouses. They put, so I remember I'm watching on the other side of the course as this is happening. I saw that attack go down, and then this next time they come through, what's up, Chad? Welcome. Next time they come through here, I was like, whoa, that is a big gap for them to have grown in one lap. Like, this is a one lap. They put like 10 seconds on the field here or something. And, you know, Legion wants to chase it, but Legion doesn't have infinite bullets in this race. They don't have the infinite ammo code on that they've had the rest of the season with like the 6 strongest dudes in the race. So they're lining it up. I mean, Legion right here goes into their full like lead out mode, but they have done so much work. I mean, like Ty got in that break earlier. Alma's done a lot of work on the front. There were all of those like eight-ish rider moves earlier in this race that they either had a guy creating or covering or pulling back. So they just don't have as many in the chamber as they normally do. Really deceiving. This part was probably like 2% uphill that they're coming on right there. I'm kind of surprised to see them not pedaling through that corner. I felt like I could pedal it pretty good, although I was kind of taking it in the group. I was taking it farther outside. So why doesn't USA Cycling put more value in the production of these events? USA Cycling doesn't own these events. USA Crits does. So USA Cycling is just the governing body that controls the rules and the upgrade points and all that. USA Crits is the USA Crits is the entity that actually like does these races. But when you say production, do you mean like the race itself on the ground here, or like the production of the stream? Get back to me on that, Durant. Rob, the leaders' jerseys are all points based, so they're all. I can show you. Let's see. This is the individual individual leader competition. So you can see like this first column is how many points they had coming into this race. You get points for starting the race. You get points for the number of laps you led. You get points for sprint number 1, mid-race sprint number 3, and then you get points for your finish. So 175 must be how many you get for 4th place here. I believe it's 200 for a win, and it goes down from there. Yeah, so Durant, I mean, from my perspective as someone who is at this race and is now like watching the live stream of this race, production seems pretty good to me. I mean, the streams could be better, but just the fact that this race was 2 miles from my house and I'm watching a live stream of it right now is pretty solid. Oh, okay. No worries, Rob. Well, I put it up there for everybody. But yeah, it's all points based, but the points are not just finish points. There's points for starting, points for mid-race, points for leading laps. And I really like that system for these races because it incentivizes everybody to be aggressive. Like you were asking early on, why would this guy be doing stuff? Why would this guy be doing like individual attacks that early on? That's why there's stuff on the line for everybody all throughout. know what else they, I mean, other than just having more cameras, like what more could they really do with the stream? I mean, yeah, it could look better, I guess, for sure, but uh the as easy as it is for me to sit here and just like talk over it, doing live event production is pretty tough. Like this is a pretty big course to cover, and they're also having, so like the street closure, like they can't set things up before they can close the street. Uh so that limits them. I mean, they do have like a boom crane shot when they come through the start finish. They put professional light, like these lights are not the street lights. These are lights they put on the course for this race. They've got all of this like physical infrastructure in terms of the timers and the lap counters. There's a jumbotron out here, so when you're at the race, you can actually watch the live stream. Like when they go around to the other side of the course, you can see the live stream on the jumbotron and on a TV in all of the VIP tents. They got all these graphics. The one thing I think they could improve on is having I think they could have two commentators. I think it'd be great if Frankie Andreu had somebody to play off of, and more context around the points, like live tallying of the points, I think would be really helpful. But that's part of what I'm trying to bring to it here is add some context around what's actually going on. Yeah, position and gaps would be, so that's what I'm saying, is like more graphical elements that are like live, giving you context about the race. That would be really good. I hopefully that's the next step for them, but just the fact that they are doing full live streams for an entire season of professional American criterium racing is uh kind of new territory, and I think this is what the sport needs, and that's why I'm doing these streams, is I want to like put some eyeballs on it, because I think this is really interesting racing. So Rob, it is chip timed. They're doing chip timing for the D1 race. My race was hand scored, and that's why my results are, I think I was ninth. I don't know. I saw a video where I was eighth across the line. I think there was one guy who I actually don't think a moto camera would look that good, but one thing that I think the technology is getting there is if they had if they had cameras on some of the riders' bikes that they could cut to. I've seen races playing with that recently, and I think the technology is potentially getting there. That I think that could be really cool. The thing about the moto is that in a criterium like this, with all of the technical corners, the moto, so that the bikes are not running into the back of the moto or drafting the moto, it's kind of got to stay far enough away from them. Having a moto on a course like this that goes down to 2 lanes in some spots and has all of these 90-degree corners that are faster on a bicycle than a motorcycle generally, a moto with a camera guy turned around backwards holding a big camera, that I can't imagine taking these corners at 32, 34 miles an hour as the camera moto. I'll say that. Yeah, totally, Durant. I'm not saying it's perfect, but I'm yeah, so I think more live graphic stuff. If I was like giving my advice to USA Crits on like what's the lowest hanging fruit here for how to make these more watchable, I think more live data. I think live power data would be really interesting. I can tell you because I've seen these guys. I've seen these guys Strava posts from this race. They averaged about 29 miles per hour for the full 70 minutes here. These two guys fully committed to the move right here. They are just absolutely hammering. Hopefully it'll cut back to the field. I think that what happened here is that Legion yeah, so they got 15 seconds right now. Um I'm hearing that from, but it would be great if, yeah, if they put like Movinzada and Summerhill, you know, and Summerhill, it says like he's the lap leader, and Movinzada, it says like, you know, second in the young rider competition, and then it had like their power or something, and then 15-second gap back to the peloton. That would be great. You could see Movinzada there when he was doing this. That's him talking into his radio. His team has a radio. 1 lap to go. Legion's on the front. They're just barely seeing him 1 corner ahead. Yeah, thanks, Rob. I'm trying. I'm trying to not spoil anything. Here goes Spencer. Spencer's not a sprinter, so he tried to go for the long bomb here. He tried to cut that inside and see if he could get a gap and hold it. Full attack, and Summerhill's on. Summerhill has more of a kick than Movinzada does. So I want to say Summerhill raced some cross back in the day. I think if you've ever raced cross, you yeah, Chad, for sure. These guys are absolute powerhouses. Movinzada was in like every major breakaway. Danny Summerhill with the win. First win for a team other than so by not sending their stars to this race, they have blown the perfect season. Oh, I thought so. That was Ty Magner from Legion, got it on the far left there. I thought watching it from my perspective, I thought that Gibbons had gotten third there. I know Gibbons is looking for a win. I think going into Spartanburg, Gibbons is going to be the one to watch. And but once again, it'll be interesting to see if I could be wrong, but I don't think that Legion is going to send the A squad. I don't think they're going to send Justin or Corey to Spartanburg or Twilight. So I think we're going to see more of this like super aggressive racing with tons of breakaways. I mean, how many different times did I have to shout Movinzada out during this race for being off the front hammering? I think we're going to see I think Cliff Bar will probably have more riders at Speed Week. Yeah, that's a good point, Chad. Yeah, so Summerhill. So I'm right to say Summerhill used to race cross some too. I feel like I've seen him race cross before. But yeah, he's definitely got a kick. He's like an insane all around rider. So we're milling around right here. It basically like 1 minute after the finish started raining, just like pouring down, absolute downpour as they were setting up. Oh, I got to talk about one more thing. The trophy for this race is a huge green hammer, which I think is sick. It's like the trident or like the Trobro Leon. You win a pig. I think winning a big hammer is pretty tight. So Birmingham Hammerfest, it rules. You should definitely come to it. So next weekend I will not be streaming live along with any of the races because hopefully I will be there. Again, I've got a house I need to move into and work stuff going on, but there is absolutely no chance I'll be live streaming it. But I'll probably try to go back and do some more of this rewatch stuff. I think Gibbons is going to be the one to watch. Gibbons is, if he's not, I think he still lives in Georgia. He definitely was living in Athens for a while, so that's like kind of a hometown race for Gibbons. I think he's really going to be gunning for that. Yeah, I do remember that, Chad. Okay, that was him who lost a sprint in Louisville, dropped his chain. I am remembering that. Who was he racing cross for then? I think we're gonna see more of Summerhill just being up front continually. Butcherbox really wants a win. Cliff Bar really wants to get somebody into the long range breakaway. So we'll see. We'll just see what happens. It's gonna be interesting to watch for sure. Yeah, you got to go for that early move when you've got someone who's beat Cav in a sprint. That was the smart move from him for sure. I'm gonna mute this. So hopefully I will have some more of these rewatches coming down the pipe. Maybe after that, I will be in sort of my off season between crit season and cross season, and I'll be able to really pay attention, get some good content going on here. And I have a bunch of crit footage of mine that I need to break down and do stuff with. So yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Hope this was enjoyable or helpful or whatever. And see you guys next time. Hopefully we'll watch Spartanburg and or Athens Twilight. Peace out. Thanks everybody for